Hello, everyone. How we all doing? Well, it's been a while. Sure has since I last streamed. Um, I know last time on your streams it was me just trying to make music in one sitting. Just because that at that moment I had writer's block. I didn't know what to do, and I was really I was just trying to like just do something. Now And now you may have read the title of today's stream. Today's stream is it's from Legend of Zelda, obviously. And one of my friends they challenged me because he always this particular friend of mine, he likes giving me challenges to compose certain things from, especially from like video games that he likes. Um and one of those being Legend of Zelda. So he gave me a challenge from Majora's Mask, saying if I can do the Akana Valley, I think is how you pronounce it. I think is how you pronounce it. I think if I could do two specific songs from that one, which was a stone. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick. It was the Akana Valley, the Akana Canyon, the Akana Valley, and then it was the stone temple, I think it was. Yeah, it was a stone tower temple from Majora's Mask, and now I'm here. I have all these I have all these I have this entire project here already. I spent a little bit of time doing it. I was doing this off stream, obviously, because of the fact I don't know like if I wanted to do this on stream or not, but I guess today's the day. He gave me like certain specific parameters that I had to work with. Right now the full song is at if I was to come over here, the full thing that I've already composed is like 4 minutes long, basically. It's already 4 minutes long, and that everything here is it just needs to be 6 more minutes, because obviously it needs to be at least 10 minutes. That's one of the parameters. Another one was to add a ticking clock into my another thing was to add a ticking clock to my work here. This is a ticking clock. And then another one was to add a child's laughter, which I have not done yet. But in order for you guys to get a sense of the piece, I guess I'll play it for you guys fully. It's a bit eerie though, because if you play Majora's Mask, I'm pretty sure you know what this entails. Yeah, and the rest of that's just a little bit more ambient. So I just need to get this like 6 more minutes. I'm unsure if I can achieve the time limit, the time specifications. I'm not sure if I can achieve that, but yeah. It sounds a bit bare bones, but obviously the entire soundtrack of Majora's Mask is a little bit more bare bones than what most people are maybe used to. Now, it's because of the fact that it's a little bit of an older soundtrack, and just because it's an older soundtrack doesn't mean necessarily that it has to sound like an older soundtrack. It This is mostly, as you can tell by the patterns, you can tell here that it's mostly like repeating ostinatos, and it's mostly orchestration wise kind of thing. It's more of an orchestration type of thing. So yeah, and I've had things like the actual soundtrack to help me. I've used the actual soundtrack to help me, and I've used piano tutorials to help me, because doing it by ear is great and all, but like piano tutorials have like they're really useful for this kind of stuff because of the fact that it's piano. Usually, most of the time, they already have the notes for you. It's all laid out, and it's not, because even if you were to do it by ear, you would basically get the same thing. So, like, spending that extra time is a little bit, to me, it's a little bit more of like a why would you spend all that time? You know what I mean? It's a little bit of a weird like thing for me to explain, because there's like a lot of people that say, oh, if you use piano tutorials, like, you're not doing it, you're not really learning anything. Well, I have learned a lot actually. From this track, I've actually learned a lot about how to create ambience in a track. I've learned how to create ambience in a track. I've learned how to like use certain tools that I have to my disposal. So, right, well, I just need to find out where I am in the like actual piece, because you see, these are two completely different songs. And the only thing is that there's like, this is like a transition portion right here. This portion right here is like a transition between the two songs. So that's why it they don't have anything correlating with each other. So my plan here is to transition slowly back into the first one, and then maybe like do something to like combine the two. I'm not sure. I have like, it's a little weird. I have like a very odd plan. I don't know. So clock's a little too loud. Cool. Okay. Okay. In the actual song, you see, last time my VOD, I uploaded it to YouTube, and I was playing music that I didn't own. In the beginning of the stream, you guys may have heard it. I played music. That's not my music. It's not. It's not my music at all. In the YouTube VOD, I'll probably leave a description of like what videos I'm using, to see if that still gets me like claimed. I guess I think that's what it is. Claimed, right? Because last time I got this like thing where like they're saying that, oh, it's not your music. So yeah, I'm still gonna do the thing, because this is obviously like a challenge cover, and I need the actual song. This is the actual song. It's a bit ominous. Alright, let me skip around. Okay, here. This is the first part. Okay, so I need to like. It's just like this kind of thing. So I had to like start going down. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this in here. Obviously, it's not the same, but it doesn't have to be the same. It's more of like the challenge isn't to obviously replicate everything. It's not. It's not to replicate everything. It's not to do. It's not to like. It really isn't to replicate everything, more as it is just to create the ambient sound that you hear. It's more of just like creating the illusion that you are like. It's more like okay. So if I explain, the way I would explain this is the same way I would explain how I did the other Legend of Zelda challenge. The other Legend of Zelda challenge I did, it was just use the main theme in some way or some shape and form. So obviously I did a cover basically where I used the theme and I did some very nice orchestration around that theme, and then as well as using some of the chords, and it's a little bit based on this is based on like kind of on the structure of the Brawl theme, like from Brawl, like Super Smash Bros. Brawl. That's the theme where I got it from. So that's why. So it's to me, it's not about recreating it as much as it is about creating the ambience around the entire piece. So like the entire piece is very ominous and such, and so obviously creating the ominous is more important than it actually is recreating everything else. Right here, I want to like transition back into the doo-doo from the piano. That's what I want to do. Okay, let's see here. But first, let me fix these wrong notes. Then we get the piano. Okay. The little doo-doo from the piano. Bring that all the way over here. Okay, so let's see here. This ends a little too quick. What did I do for the other one? For the other one over here. Yeah, I put it back. I just flipped it a little bit. Just a little too much. Let me just transition slowly back into everything else. We got the choir here. Now, another thing that some people may ask is, a lot of it that they may say that, oh, a lot of this sounds fake and you're not doing it, and you're not making trying to make it sound realistic. Now the whole point of this challenge isn't to make things sound realistic. Is Majora's Mask's entire thing based like on realism? Of course not. It's not based on realism. Obviously, I heard that the composer, apparently he took inspiration from like where he grew up, apparently. um uh I'm not sure, because I'm not trying to make it sound real, because that's not the point. The point isn't to make it sound real. The point is to just have to make it ominous. There's a lot of like soundtracks out there from like other like from big horror films that are just they're just ambient sounds. They're just ambient sounds with with a couple of impacts, and it's not really the most realistic thing in the world. You don't really need an orchestra to create ambience, in my opinion. Like, to create ambience and sound, you don't need an orchestra to like create that like scariness to like a soundtrack. You just need the right sounds. All right, yeah. For this ambience that I'm using a there's a synthesizer here that I'm using. It's it's for free orchestra. That's not it. It's this is a free orchestra. It's free. Uh it used to be that you had to have the full version content, but they recently made it so that you can use it with Contact Player, and it's Project Sam's free orchestra, and this is just a thing of the dystopian drones and clusters. In my opinion, this is a really powerful tool to create ambience, and so this challenge also gave me the opportunity to play around with that. So pretty nice. Let's see here. Make sure that doesn't get offbeat too much, which I think it has. You can hear how much the dystopian drone adds. You can hear how much it adds from everything else, because once it gets cut off, you don't like hear like that low rumbling that actually like helps create space a little bit. Let's see here. Let's save and give it a second. Let's see here. Oh yeah, that's right. I use a oboe for that. You see, I want to slowly transition back into using the other song, because in my opinion I prefer the other song a little bit more, because of the fact that that one has a bit more color to work with, if that makes more sense. That one has a bit more color and characteristics that I can work with, because of the fact that I use more orchestral elements. Here I could use a double bass actually. Let's see what this would sound like. Oh, it's I can do the chajun. So this would sound like if I added to cellos to it. Okay, hold up. Where it is? You turn cellos on as well. All right, let's see here. Jeez. So, okay, what's my plan again? Like, there's like a certain plan of attack that I have to do again. Okay, plan of action. Okay, plan of action is to just somehow transition back into the other song, and then afterward find a way to merge both of them. Whoops. Wait, what notes are there? Oops. Slowly. Dang it. What did I do? What did I do? Oh, is that what I did? Okay. What notes is this supposed to be? It's supposed to be D sharp. D sharp. Oop. Okay. Uh-oh, that's not good. Oh boy. My computer has been having this problem recently where the internet may cut out like every now and then, and now it's having it. So hopefully it comes back, and hopefully it doesn't like, I don't know what it is. It's something about the computer. I don't know what it is. For some reason it's just been doing it, and I can't seem to just fix it. I really wish I could, because it gets very very annoying at times, and it like makes it very hard to work with. So if only I had like, only had something that I could like somebody to explain like what is like, why is it doing that. That's the only real issue that I really wish I could fix with this computer. It makes it very hard to work with. Honestly, I feel like it might be my motherboard. That's the only reason. That's the only reason why I. It's the only reason. That's the only like thing I could think of. Like it could be. I don't think. I don't think it's anything else, honestly. What are the notes for this one? The notes for this one are E, F, D. Okay. For some reason, it seems that this one has shifted over by like a little bit, apparently. Okay, so now we're going to slowly transition into the other one. Okay, so now let's add back in. Let's add this back in. We're gonna use the Sonatine choirs. That's what I'm actually using, by the way. For the choirs, it's Sonatine Orchestra. I don't have paid libraries for choirs. I wish I did. I really wish I did have like a paid library for choirs, because it would help a lot, in my opinion. Because there's a lot of song ideas that I have with choir, and my internet cut out again. Now it's back, apparently. See, that's the only annoying thing. It's the only annoying thing I have to deal with. It's very, very annoying. Yeah. Okay. How am I gonna do this? Okay, so it's C sharp and then E flat. I could try using the Arabian scale for this. So that would be so what I've done is oops, that was my phone. So it's I wanna how about if I go let's do that. I feel like that would work a bit more with the ominous sound of this track it's supposed to have. Like I feel like that would work a bit better. Oh yeah, that's right. I have to quickly change it. Before like it actually does it. Okay, so it will be. That's very loud. C sharp. You can give me a piano because right now this has a chorus in it, and so it's making it very hard to like listen. Oops, it's saving. Hopefully, I can go for at least an hour. Hopefully, I can go like 20 more minutes. And if I get 20 more minutes and my internet cuts out again, I'll be happy because of the fact that it's at least an hour. Okay. So C sharp. F. Well, in the other one we use F sharp. How about we use F sharp here? I don't know, would this work with it? Sure. Extend this up by another bar. Extend this one out. Extend this one out. There we go. Let's use the little video thing again. I want to keep the ticking clock can actually keep coming like here. Here the ticking clock can keep going. It ends perfectly too. It's so late because of the fact that like it's not it's like super hard to like get things like accurate like on here. Okay, so let's just get everything lined up. Yeah, okay. It's because it's using marcato instead of staccato, so that's the only reason why. Okay, so okay. Color. What's this one? This one is quickly. What is this one? What does that one sound like for this? See how much space the ambient sound actually takes up. A little bit. It's actually kind of, to me, it's kind of, that's actually, to me, it's really impressive that the ambient sound actually takes up that much like volume. I assume is how you would describe that. So just with this, we have transitioned back into the one that into me, in my personal opinion, I like. Now, I just realized something that any change I just did to this one will be effective to this one because I forgot to make this one unique. I forgot to make the first one unique, so I can change the other one. Okay, so anything I added was I added that bass clarinet. I added bass clarinet. Okay. So did I add anything else? I don't think so. Oh yeah. If you're wondering what instrument this is a harpsichord. That's a harpsichord with some OTT and a free chorus plugin that I have. And I just kept clicking around until I got a sound that in my opinion I liked. Yeah. To me it kind of sounds like a 1950s kind of synthesizer that you would use in a pop song from back in the day. Jesus, I keep dropping my phone. Just using the blues scaler. I don't know. This is like a very this is a very cheap way of getting more time out of your pieces. Obviously speaking, there's a lot of other ways to get more time out of a piece, but for this challenge, it's a video game soundtrack, and it's also a soundtrack that like it already repeats a lot. It already repeats a lot, so repeating it for a longer period of time isn't that bad. And I'm pretty sure in the actual game and in the actual piece, like from like YouTube, if I was to play for you, it would fade out towards the end of this piece. It would fade out, which is why I like stopped it so suddenly right here. I stopped it like very suddenly because of the fact that in the actual piece it just stops completely. So yeah. I feel like there's a pretty good way of combining these two pieces. You know, they're related, but they're not related, if that makes sense. I have this like idea. So what if there is choir here? So what if I change the choir that's here? What if I change that choir? What if I change the choir that's in this piece right here? I mean, it's not changing it because of the fact that I'm using the same choir, but it's just that the chorus is just not activated. So what if I just slowly transition the chorus into it? All right, like right here, we'll start like adding it. Actually, no, right, like a bar before, kind of. We'll start adding it in, and we'll get the full effects. Like, I guess when the bassoons enter, bassoon slash bass clarinet. Now what we're gonna do okay, so let's get the did I move it again? I saw that I moved it. You see, that's the thing when you're working with like a really long project and you work like very zoomed out, you can move a lot of things by accident without you even actually knowing. So okay, cool. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna get this. So we're gonna be like beep. But yeah, I just want to like. What would it sound like if I was to combine the piano sonata here along with the other one? To me, it fits, but I have to I have to like change certain notes so that it so fits. Because there's obviously like certain notes that are like in this that aren't in the main melody here. So let's see here. Let's just. So let's just do a little change up real quick. Why not? Change it real quick. Oops. Let's keep this sonata going in the bassoons and bass currents. Actually, want to add like regular clarinet to this. Let's see here, staccato. just want to hear this. Okay. I kind of like that actually. Oh, no. There we go. Obviously, there's still like the ambient sound that I have not continued. No, I will. You hear how much that just adds to it. Like, geez, man, that's so much. All right. That one do the little boom. Thank you, Power Mech guy. Thanks you for showing up as well. I appreciate it a lot, man. Okay, where is the? Wow, man, I moved it. This is very different from the original because the fact that like obviously what I've done is obviously very different from the original because of the fact that this is never in the original. This part right here is never in the original. I love how I keep gesturing with my hands to where certain things are when I don't have a face cam or anything. Oh, okay, wait, hold on. I forgot that it's supposed to be like a bar or so, like a bar or two of percussion. That was a little bit of a lie right there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just turn the chorus off. Double tongue. Oh, I copied it wrong. Okay, makes sense. I didn't start it from like where I copied the other one. That's why. Oh, I think I deleted. Yeah, I accidentally had deleted everything. Okay, let's see here. This is very I'm pretty sure as many of you will be able to tell, this is like way out of like what I'm very used to writing, you know what I mean? Which is the whole point of the challenge. My friend was like, I see you're very used to like, but the point of the challenge was to push me out of my comfort zone for this. And I can already tell that he succeeded. He succeeded in pushing me out of my comfort zone. I'm not usually the one to make like any like ominous horror sounding stuff, but it's been fun actually working on this because of the fact that it's so different and I was never used to it. And also it helps you think outside the box because I would have never thought that in order to create the this little effect right here, the effect you heard in the like second to like in the middle of the piece. Like I would have never thought that the way that I would create that would be just a violin hitting a note and then quickly switching to a different violin that has like little grace notes. And then also adding in a glockenspiel along with it. I'd have never assumed that like something like that. Or another thing that I also did was this sound right here actually. I would have never assumed that like that kind of stuff like I would have to use it. I never would assume to like use that kind of stuff for like anything for ambience because I've never had done something like that before. And he really did push me out of my comfort zone for this one. Like I'm gonna keep mentioning, the way I made this sound is actually very interesting. So I took this pattern. If you know anything about music theory, this is a whole tone scale, meaning that like everything is just whole steps. So it's just very dreamy sequence, except it just starts on an E, goes to the F sharp, goes back to E. And it's in instance if I would remember correctly, is it sixlets or is it triplets? I don't remember, but it was. I think it's six. I think it's a. I think it's triplets actually. No, never mind. I think it's sixlets, but they're just very out of time because of the fact that this is like something like I wrote this and then squished it down with like a FL Studios like a thing here. I squished it down with this. That was probably really loud. But then afterward, what I did was I took that sound. I came into, where is it? Don't I have a instance of it somewhere? I do. Yeah. I took it into Edison, and Edison has this really cool feature called the blur tool. The blur tool is, it basically does what it says, in that instead of making everything like all nice and cohesive, it sounds like you just added like a ton of reverb to it, and so you end up getting that kind of very atmospheric sound. And now, where did I learn this from? I saw this in like a there's a guy who was like saying, here's some tricks for like EDM and stuff, and one of the tricks for EDM to get more space in your tracks was to use the blur tool with like things like soft pads or like arpeggiators, to use arpeggiators and then create these pads. Because the thing is about the blur tool that's a little different than reverb is that it still keeps a lot of the melodic content. It just makes it blurry, so like it adds a ton of space. So you will still hear obviously like every note. It won't be like this mush of everything that doesn't make sense really. But yeah. And in my opinion, the Edison tool in FL Studio is very underrated, especially for something like for something as for orchestral composers, because like there are certain things that like you wouldn't think of. So another example where I use Edison for this track specifically was the ticking clock. The ticking clock was now it's not going at the original tempo. The original tempo is much faster. Here's the original tempo. Obviously, some people may ask, why didn't I just stretch it out? Well, it's because if I stretched it out, it still wasn't like in time with everything else. And that's what I needed. And so what I did was I cut up the individual little ticks. And of course, since it's in a reverb channel, obviously you don't need as precise. You don't need to like have the precise ambient sound that you would normally get with the clock. Because as you can see here, I recorded in Edison as well. And you can see that there are some areas here where it's just complete silence, and that's the areas where I had it cut. But then because of the fact that it's in reverb, you can't really hear it, and plus in the context of the mix, you can barely notice it. It's just a little detail for like some more ambience. And this is one of the requirements that I had for the challenge, just as a quick reminder. But yeah, as I kept saying, that I learned a lot from this. So yeah, because creating ambience is something that a lot of people actually struggle with, and not just like horror soundtracks, I guess. They also struggle. A lot of people struggle with ambience and just regular orchestral music, because there's a lot of classical like music that you'll hear, and the classical music, like you'll hear this solo instrument, but it's not alone. It's not alone, and it has like this really nice background to it, if that makes any sense. Sorry if I'm rambling on, guys. I'm just speaking like what I've learned from this kind of stuff. As well as from this, I recently took up the challenge of of making a Star Wars recreation. Now, the Star Wars recreation is Princess Leia's theme. That I've learned a lot from that too, because obviously, because it's not only is it John Williams, but it's Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I love the Star Wars soundtrack. And I've learned a lot from it, especially like learning how to make my instrument sound more realistic, because everything is already written out. So what are you gonna do? You have to make it realistic. All right, enough of me rambling on. Let's continue actually doing this. So what I was planning to do on the next part is actually add in the harmonized flutes here. Dun 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 dun. Starts on A. Okay. Like 3 bars. Just to move this quickly. Okay, so now I just did it out of time. My bad. It's like a bar ahead. There we go. Oh my goodness, that's really loud. That's also really loud. I just let's have solo piano here. For this next bar, let's add in. So add in just like another one of these, and then we're gonna add in that piccolo again. In my opinion, the piccolo came out very realistic. That was in my opinion, that was just pure like coincidence / accident. That's what I would call it, because of the fact that like I didn't really try. I mean, I love making my instrument sound realistic, but like this little like what would you call that? Trill, I guess. This little trill kind of is the main thing that like makes it sound a little bit more realistic. So it's a bit better. It's a sounds a lot more realistic because of just that. Now you may be seeing that I have a instance of labs. Yeah, and here's what it is. It's a broken guitar. It's not broken, but it's called a charango. It's a like very it's a Spaniard guitar. It's a small Spaniard guitar. It kind of looks like a ukulele. I tried to use it for I tried to use it in place of the harpsichord. I didn't like it at all. So that's why I kind of got rid of it and replaced it with the harpsichord, because the harpsichord it has more of the sound that I was going for. So, yeah. I should quickly mention that another thing that I have learned from most of these compositions challenges that I've ever done, one of them I've learned a lot about orchestration wise, because it was basically like it was from Pokemon, and it was just like the melody was the same. The melody and the harmony, it was always the same. The only thing that really changed was orchestration. It was how the way you would orchestrate it, because it was all piano. And so what I had to do was I had to be like, okay, so let's see, this section's gonna be soft strings. This section's gonna be a this section's gonna be the big part, the big ending, showstopper kind of thing. Let's see here, but it's just like doing covers not only teaches you a lot, but doing covers, like Evident has this like free article that they have on their website that you can go check out, and it's called why it's calling like how to grow your fan base quickly. And then they explain the fact that doing covers and such would helps you grow your fan base a lot quicker, helps you grow your fan base. Now, I'm not doing this for growth. I never, for a lot of like the challenges on either my friends give me or another composer may give me, all these or if I give myself, all these challenges, I never do it for the intention of I never do it for the intention of growth. I always do it for the intention of learning, because growing as a composer, it's good. It's very good. Trust me, it's very good, especially when you start getting connections and such. It's very, very good and useful. But then if you only do things for growth, in my opinion, what's gonna end up happening is that you're like gonna end up just keep wanting to grow more and more and more, and then just end up becoming a influencer. At least that's what I feel like would happen. I don't know if that has happened, but there are people like Alex Mukala. He started his career by doing he did original works, obviously, and then afterward he has done many covers, and those covers have helped him grow as a composer. And he hasn't changed a bit from when he started. Like the only thing he has changed really is just his approach, like his style of like doing things, because he used to have like this style where he just gets right into the topic and just wastes no time. But now he's just now he does like these tutorials that are very quick. He does the quick tutorials and stuff that are very quick, and he's starting to live stream a bit more, I see. That kind of stuff I respect a lot, because he grew his fan base with covers, but he didn't do the covers just to grow. He did it to learn as well, and he did it because of the fact that he loves the music, which is why he did the covers, in my opinion. So that's what I do, and usually challenges are just for me to learn. So yeah. I'm rambling again, aren't I? I want to add like the little sound noise, or like a little quote from the other one. Make unique. We're just gonna like turn it down, I guess. Because it's pretty loud. It's pretty loud. So let's see if I. Okay, so that kind of helped to turn it down a little bit. Turning down the glockenspiel. Now let's try turning down these, because these are controlled by velocity, so that will obviously turn down. There we go. I feel like the way to end this piece would probably just be like to just fade it out as it does in the actual thing. I don't know if you guys have noticed actually yet, but like the drone, if you haven't noticed, it grows with time. Like the longer you hold the note, the more it grows, to the point of which it basically could cover everything, which is why you see it chopped up into parts. I want to add a quote in piano actually from this one. The boom boom. Okay. Let's see here. It's a very interesting spot to put it. It's growing again. Let's see here. I don't know. Do you guys enjoy the streams that I do? If there's anyone in chat, I don't know. I enjoy streaming. I enjoy streaming when I can. In my opinion. Only thing it's like for me, it's a little bit hard to be like, okay, should I stream? Yes or no? Should I stream? Yes or no? And then especially now that my computers has like some internet problems that like it acts up a bit, it also becomes pretty hard to be like, sure, I'll stream today, but without having issues first. I just noticed this. Never mind. Well, as you know, another thing was to add like a child's laughter. That was another parameter. I don't know, because another parameter was to add a child's laughter. Since this is a ambient ominous track that has kind of a horror vibe to it. I guess he wanted me to add a child's laughter to it. Just same way he wanted me to add a ticking clock to the actual thing. Now, for me, the only thing that I find difficult is the only thing I find difficult about this is the fact that, like, should I have that child's laughter at the end, or should I have my voice cracked, or should I have the child's laughter toward like a little bit like in the middle somewhere else? That's the only problem I have. Oh, I have an idea actually. Instead of putting this one in piano, let's see here. How about if I like wish to like do like some kind of like thing with the cello? Cello, also known as my favorite instrument. Okay, hold on, let me get the other cello patch that I have, because that one's very quiet. Okay, it's not in a bad register. It's in a pretty good register, so I feel like it will work. Oop. Okay, now we just gotta. Thank you, Paramedic guy. Honestly, yeah, it does help watching other people to use the stream. You need to know your setup before I can manage those network issues. Are you like a Are you like a tech support person? I think you told me what you'd have done before, but I completely forgot. I'm so sorry. Well, my setup includes its. Are you talking about PC specs, or are you talking about anything? Because my motherboard is a MSI B250 Pro VD. So, and then it's an Intel Pentium G4560. That's what I use for my motherboard. I don't know if that's what you're asking. And I'm over Ethernet, so that's why like it still like makes me that's why it's weird because this never had happened before, and it started happening. So I have antivirus software, right? It's Avast. I use Avast antivirus software, and ever since I think it was like there was like an update for Windows or something. I think it was that I installed, and and it just like I think messed up something because you see like if I click open interface for Avast, I'm doing this real quick just to show you. Like I click open interface and then it gives me this. And it's never been able to be fixed. So I don't know. I feel like Avast might have something to do with it. I don't know, because the way I fix this issue, well, the way I deal with it, I have extensive experience with Windows, PC specs, and network setup like router and switch. Okay. I understand. I understand. Well, the only thing is about it is that there's like a like the way I get around this particular issue of internet. Because another example here I can show you right now actually. Open Origin, because I am also a gamer. Yeah, video games. So as you see, it's an offline mode. If I click go online, it's still gonna be like like it's still not online. And I know I have internet because of the fact that obviously because I'm still streaming, I know I have internet. So I don't know, and it's not just Origin. Obviously, it's like with every other application, even browsers and stuff. It still acts exactly the same. For browsers and such, it still acts exactly the same. So I don't know. The way I get around this issue again is I restart my computer, and then for some reason that fixes the issue, but then it like only fixes it for like I feel like it only fixes it for like 24 hours or something like that, and then after like a certain amount of time passes, like it just goes right back to the same problem. So I don't know what it is. And why is my Windows bar loading? Oh, okay. I think Windows decided to restart. I've noticed in my own devices some programs act funny with Ethernet. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I just don't know what it is because I've used Ethernet before. I've used Ethernet before and it never happened. So I think just Windows is restarting. Well, Windows Explorer, if you ever use Task Manager. I appreciate a lot, Paramedic guy. I appreciate that a lot that you're concerned and trying to help me. I appreciate that. I feel like adding the ticking clock back here again would also help for some more ambience a little bit. Networking. Sure. It's fine. We can talk after that, yeah. Oh boy. I have to add a child's laughter in here, some in the this last little bit, but I don't have one. Like I don't have a sound effect for that, and I would have to download it. But right now my PC is acting up, as you can see by this lower bar right here. It's acting up, and so I would have to wait. I'm so surprised I'm live. Like that's the only. That's really to me the only issue. The only thing I find very odd. That's I'm still live somehow. Okay, well, let's see here. what did I start off with? Didn't I start off like around here somewhere ish? I think I had like 4 minutes or something when I started the stream. Oh yeah, I remember. I was like right here. When I started the stream, I was right here, and now look at how much we added. Yep, pretty good. I did the cheap way of adding time to a track, which was just to repeat certain things by changing them. Which, in my opinion, it's not cheap because there's a lot of actually like professional composers that do the same thing, like a very high level like things, and like people in Hollywood and stuff, they do it. It's like creating a B section basically. Like if you know anything about songwriting or anything, so like you have A section, a B section, sometimes a C section. Okay. The way it would work is like, okay, so A has like everything, like all the ideas, like it has like all the ideas and stuff that you already have, that you created, and then the B section is supposed to have a like, how do I explain it? It's supposed to contain a kind of it's supposed to have the ideas from the A section, but you're supposed to change it. You change it just to have like a bit more like diversity, so that the listener doesn't get bored. Because obviously, the listener getting bored is obviously like the one thing that will kill your music for most people, which is why a lot of times songs have generally nowadays stuck with the 3 to 5 minutes. The 3 to 5 minutes. There are some songs that became very popular very quickly. They became very popular, and they're very short, like 1 minute and 30 seconds, something like that. Yeah, it's actually very interesting. If you guys ever have like your own spare time, you guys have spare time, I recommend you guys could go check out like the history of like music, and check out to see how much time like for a certain song has changed. Because there used to be times like, obviously, looking back in the classical period, where like we had like symphonies that were like an hour to 2 hours, so sometimes even 5 hours long. I remember that there was just like one opera like took the span of 2 days to actually like complete the whole show. So there's obviously a lot of time there, because like back then you didn't have because obviously back then you didn't have that many like choices in music. So in order to keep it interesting, in order to keep the listener like entertained and stuff, you would have to like make it so that it's a lot longer. So yeah. So I passed the goal that I had recommended for myself, which was to at least make it to an hour for the stream, and the hour has passed a long time ago. We are at an hour and 40 minutes now. I've done quite a bit. I have to restart my computer. I wonder if there's anything I can do before I decide to like end the stream. I don't want to make you guys hear it because of the fact that like it's literally it's literally almost 10 minutes long. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna I think I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I'll probably upload a YouTube video of what it ends up sounding like. Oh yeah, and by the way, the challenges are usually monthly, meaning that like usually like I usually get like he proposes a challenge like towards the end of a month, and then I start the challenge like on the first of the month. So this little project here, me and oh yeah, that's right, I can't use that because of Windows. Well, my friend, he on the 1st of May, like, well, not on the 1st of May, well, like a couple weeks before May starts, just May started, proposed the idea to me of doing this challenge, and I accepted. And then obviously on the first, I started a little bit before, but it wasn't much. It was just me. It was me finding the resources that I would use in order to get my thing sounding accurate. So that was the only reason why I started a bit earlier. Now obviously I've done more because on the 1st of May I did like a couple bars of this tune. Yeah, and remember that this is all like I never like concentrate on it like every single day until the month is over. I never do that. I kind of like spread it out into different weeks. And some weeks I just don't work on this track at all. And other days I just work on completely other things. So yeah. But I'm gonna sign off because I have to restart my computer because of obviously the previously mentioned things here. I'm still kind of baffled on why it's like how it's still working, because this is obviously something I still don't understand. This is like a new issue that I still don't understand much of, and I really hope I can find a way to fix it, because if I do, it would be so much better. Because I used to be able to actually I actually used to be able to leave my computer on for like 5 to 7 days at a time. I used to leave my computer on like for that long. I used to leave my computer on for like 5 to 7 days at a time, and next thing then afterward, and the only reason why I had to restart it was because of the plugin known as Contact. It would start acting up after those 5 to 7 days. It would start acting up, and so I always restart my computer after that week had passed. But now it's like it's not Contact anymore. It's just I don't even know what it is. It's just the internet, I guess. But I hope you guys enjoy the stream. I hope you guys learned something. I hope I was able to entertain you, or if I was able to bring joy to your face or anything. And hopefully, when you see me live again, we will continue on with a new challenge or another song, or maybe even continue that one cover was doing. So yeah. I wish you all the best, and I hope you have a great Sunday. I hope you have whatever time zones you guys are in. Well, thank you for joining. Thanks for watching.